Hello everyone. Welcome to yet another session on soft skills and interpersonal communication skills with me, Waheeda, Assistant Professor at the Institute of Aeronautical Engineering, Dundigal, Hyderabad. In today's session, we are going to talk about the barriers to reading skills. We have dealt with speaking skills, listening skills, and now we come to the reading skills. Earlier, we talked about the barriers of communication. In that, we discussed about how communication can be hurdled with few things which will act as hurdles, and then we cannot listen to people, we cannot communicate. Here, we are going to learn about how barriers occur during reading sessions. So, we are going to talk about it in detail in this session. The more that you read, the more things you will know. The more that you learn, the more places you will go. Dr. Sewell, the American children's author, the political cartoonist and illustrator, poet, animator, and also a filmmaker, says this, that the more that you read, the more things you will know. Okay, the more that you learn, the more places you will go. Books are uniquely portable magic. It's told by Stephen King, an American author of horror, supernatural fiction, suspense, crime, science fiction, and also fantasy novels. The major hurdles in developing efficient reading are lack of concentration. We are going to deal about how the concentration is hurdled in this, and uninteresting subject matter. And we are selecting books, or we are not selecting books, we are asked to read them. That matter could be uninteresting to the reader. Then sometimes we have lack of motivation. There is no motivation from the side of our teachers or our parents or our mentors. And also this could be because of the faulty reading habits. Sometimes what happens, we are reading, but we are not trying to understand the content, thinking that it is beyond our understanding. Indiscriminate use of the dictionary is also one of the reasons, and it could be because of the defective reading as well. Lack of concentration happens, or poor concentration emanates from poor reading habits. If we are not used to reading, it often appears to be an unpleasant task when we are forced to do it. When there is no amusement, there is no intention or motivation from within, then it is like feels like a burden. Since there is no escape from reading, we need to cultivate an active interest in the reading assignments. That can be done by motivation from within. Gradually, our concentration begins to improve if we consciously start taking interest in the reading activity. That should again be due to motivation. Uninteresting subject matter could be the type of material selected for reading, which often influences one's reading abilities. An unfamiliar subject in school or college may pose as a serious problem to the student, and his or her reading rate would come down considerably. On the other hand, if one reads a familiar subject, naturally the reading speed would rather get greater momentum. This could be because of the limited knowledge base. One reason could be if the person is not familiar with many concepts, or the concept that the book is offering, that reading material is offering, then the person might be uninterested. Or if it is a new subject which they are not familiar with, or it's something that the vocabulary is difficult, or the concept is new, or they do not have any idea as to what is it going to be in that, then it acts as a barrier to reading. Lack of motivation at times makes us perform below our full potential. We may already have the latent ability to read faster than we normally do. What we read is the inner drive, the persistent desire to improve our reading rate could be this. Those who prepare for competitive examinations are so motivated that they develop greater reading speed. Lack of motivation in the sense of the people around, or the time that is allocated for reading that particular subject, or if the people are bombarded with lot of information only through reading and speaking and listening, then the reading part may not come into the forefront. This could be one of the reasons as well. uh, Eye fixation. While reading, one is unable to progress well beyond a thought, expression, or word. It is regarded as eye fixation. This is often caused because many of us are not trained for good reading in schools. However, this cripples our reading efficiency. To overcome this, try to divide a sentence into certain thoughts, units, and don't fixate on a particular word or an expression for long. This ability is, I mean, it has to go one to one. The thinking skills. Always I tell my students that these LSRW skills are like the four walls of a room, and it is accompanied by the roof, that is the thinking skills. If one doesn't use the thinking abilities along with that activity, that LSRW skill, then it is not going to give it its in potential benefit. Okay. Regression also could happen, just like eye fixation. Regression also creeps into our reading habits because of lack of training. So this training of reading has to start right from the beginning itself. The children, the infants, should be told stories, read stories, and they should be familiarized with the alphabet, how it looks like. So then it gets into that, since there is no pressure from all the sides as to that they have to learn this in that particular stipulated time and things like that. The child is free in their earlier years, and they do not have any homeworks or anything. So this is the right time when to start giving them the habit of reading, getting them accustomed to the style of the alphabets. So when you are unable to understand an idea, we habitually go back to the part where it occurs in a passage. So again, regression happens, going back and forth will take place. It suggests incompetence in reading and comprehension skills, understanding the content. Enhance reading habits with enthusiasm and interest can help to overcome this problem. So the best thing is the grandma stories, or the small stories, amusing stories that we read for our children at the bedtime stories. Okay. Vocalization is the tendency to make the sounds of the words while reading. Lip reading, on the other hand, is the act of moving one's lips voicelessly as if one is reading aloud. Then this vocalization slows down reading considerably, and is a habit you should break if you intend to become a speed reader. In the types of reading skills, we talked about different types of speed reading, um, detailed reading, intensive reading, and these were the situational reading types that we discussed about. And then we have skimming, scanning, intensive skimming through the books for the gist of the text. So sometimes when we are lacking some time, and though we have to read in detail, we skim through the text because of the lack of interest again, and also because of lack of time that is at our disposal. We have so much to read, but very little time at our disposal. This could be also one of the reasons when we are having a barrier. Reading aloud or turning the head from side to side. It could be reading aloud and moving the head from time to time, gliding a pen pencil or scale through the text tends to affect the understanding of the concept. Ideally, our eyes should see and our mind should read the text before us. As I told you, when we are doing this activity, it is like one of the walls associated or connected with the roof. Then it should happen simultaneously. The uttering of the word or seeing of the word, and also understanding its meaning, or if we do not know the meaning of that particular word, we have to analyze according to the previous words that we have read in the sentence, so that we assume that it could be meaning that, and it gets clarified as we read further. Okay. So then indiscriminate use of the dictionary is also one of the reasons of barriers of reading skills, because some damage to reading habits is also done because of the lack of guidance about the proper utilization of the dictionary. Some students are misled into cramming the dictionary they possess. Another misuse of the dictionary is the tendency to refer to it the moment one comes across a word or finds it difficult to understand. Because of the access to the easy access to the dictionary also could be one of the reasons. Repeatedly looking into the dictionary for every such word also makes us wary of the whole process of reading, and we tend to give up very soon, because every alternate word, or if every 10 words we read, we are going and referring to the dictionary. Once we do it, maybe we do it for a paragraph, or maybe if we are very patient, we go do it for the rest of the page. But it is not possible to do it for the whole book itself. That is why it is advised, when we are selecting the book, it should be the right kind of book. Even if you are doing it in the extensive reading part or intensive reading part, we need to select. But selection of textbook is not possible for us, because whatever textbook that is prescribed for our subject we have to use. This can be done when we are doing extensive reading for pleasure or amusement, when we are reading some blogs, or when we are reading some novels, short stories, with different genres. We have this access when we can just choose a book of our interest, of our understanding, the kind of vocabulary that we understand. We can select the book and read, and this will help. We may not come across such kind of barriers when we are reading for we are doing extensive reading. Therefore, you need to go through your reading assignments without taking breaks. When what we have to do is, we have to encircle the words and expressions you are unable to understand. So whenever you are sitting with any book to read, or any content to comprehend, we just have to have a pencil in our hand, if it is a book, or the book in our hand. Or if we are reading it on our phones and laptops, we need to just highlight the words with light color thing, so that we can refer to that in dictionary. Once you have finished the entire assignment, turn to the dictionary to understand the words. Even as you do so, try to scan the target words from different perspectives. Never stop amid your reading to work in a word, or move forward. Usually the context will make the meaning of the strange words clear. As I told you, as you go further, it might give you a clear understanding. Defective reading. Defective reading happens from two sources, ophthalmic and neurological. The former is due to defective eyesight, like short-sightedness and long-sightedness, and stammering, stuttering, and alexia are neurological defects for which medical treatment or counseling should be recommended. The problem of partial or total deafness also impedes reading skills. Okay. So we will discuss this, how to get over this barriers in reading. We will continue in our next video.
Like, share and subscribe. Hit the bell icon for more updates.